Hey, my YouTube family, this is KJ, and I am back. And this time we're talking about Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. This is the final episode, and I wasn't here last week, so I'm kind of going to wrap everything up in this last episode. But I appreciate you guys for sticking by me. And all my new subscribers, hey, 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 I see you, what's popping? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'm not on camera today. I may be on camera in a couple of weeks. I just ain't been really feeling being on camera. But we'll see how this goes. I'm working on getting new equipment and all that stuff here with a better quality camera. So we're going to start off with the episode. I may not go in order. I don't know. But anyway, we're talking about Ray J and Princess for the most part on this episode. This matrimony episode. So they're getting married. Princess basically is getting prepared. They're having a party for the family and everybody's coming into town. The wedding is a week away. So she's kind of right now having like a powwow sit down with her mom, who is really pretty, by the way. It looks like she is mixed with Asian and black, or some type of Asian descent and black. So Princess has always been a pretty girl to me. But anyway, she's sitting up with her mom and they're talking about the whole prenup situation. Her mom is telling her, that a prenup means basically you're not going to try to fight for your marriage. Princess just like, what if I'm worth 50 million one day? What if I'm this? What if I'm that one day? I feel like I need a prenup for myself. And so her mom is just trying to convince her that may not necessarily be the best idea to go ahead and go through with a prenup. And also they talk about her dad may or may not show up for the wedding, and she was in communication with her dad, and then all of a sudden the communication stopped. So they're talking about that as well. And basically, yeah, that was pretty much the first portion of the scene. Princess trying to kind of talk to her mom about the whole wedding situation and her and Ray's cold feet situation that's been going on. She also knows that Mama Sonia is not really fond of her at this point, so she is really, really considering the prenup. Last week she told Lil B about the prenup situation, and Lil B was just kind of conflicted on whether she should say something or not to Ray, being that she has been, family friends in the Norwoods for so long. So this episode, she decides to go ahead and say something to Ray about it, and Ray basically did take it as if Princess was being, betraying him and not being honest with him and not talking to him and being open with him when it's somebody you're supposed to get married to. So he basically got upset about finding out about the prenup from Lil B instead of from Princess. So Lil B is basically just at this point regretting that she even ever said anything to Ray, because now she know Ray is going to confront Princess about it, and now she just kind of just regret even having to say anything. Tiara basically, last week she had a run-in. She went into jail based on this Uber driver situation. She got a new lawyer now. So she's having to sit down with her new lawyer. And he's basically telling her, she now realized that this is a much more serious situation than she thought. Yes, it's a misdemeanor, but she is facing at least a year in jail time if this is not, dismissed or whatever. He's just basically talking to her about the court case. And that, this is the same judge that she's going to go back before in court, so she might want to try to get all her ducks in a row, because, just never know. The judge just has to be in a good mood. Last week, she was like, judge wasn't seeing it for her. So now she just kind of nervous about having to go to jail behind that incident in the Uber. What else with Tiara, just to kind of wrap her up, she actually did have a sit down with Nikki Baby, and Nikki was telling her, how she just really really worried about her friend, and she did also recognize that she may have a drinking problem. Tiara did admit that, she has had a drinking problem, and she recognized that that's what it is, and that's basically what's had her career on hold for so long, and she just really feel bad, because it's just like, I'm the reason what my bad habits are, the reason why I haven't been going as far as I could go in my career, and it's just messed up, and it's good to see, when somebody actually does have a revelation about themselves and actually does realize their own faults and take responsibility and try to change things. And then at the same time, you're kind of disappointing yourself because you did make bad decisions. But everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes bad decisions. So I'm hoping that TT kind of comes out of this, situation on top and not have to do the jail time and just kind of get past all of this negativity in her life. So we go back to Princess and Ray J because that's pretty much what the episode was about. Oh, Nikki Baby did also tell her that, she see her going down a bad path, and she is reminding her of her brother who she lost and how he said he was under control. It was under control, but it really wasn't, and he didn't really tell it to the last minute. So, yeah, we definitely want to see TT prosper and change in her ways. We get back to Princess and Ray J, and basically, so the party happens, and Ray is kind of just, not feeling all gung-ho about the party because he hasn't really said anything to Princess yet about the prenup. Meanwhile, Miss Norwood, Ray's mom, is having a sit down with Princess' mom and grandma about, just making sure that they, they feel like they're ready to get married as well, because she kind of just questioning basically if him and Princess are even ready to get married, and what do they even know what they're about to get into and stuff like that. So she basically just, was honest with them that she does have reservations about them getting married. And, Princess' mom was just like, they love each other. And, she wants to see them happy and everything. Meanwhile, Ray and Princess are kind of on the sideline arguing about a prenup, and she basically said she was going to plan on telling Ray, but she hadn't told him. So now that Brandy told him, she kind of just don't want her in the wedding at this point, which I think is pretty petty, seeing as though we just got through going through a scene or an episode where you were the one to tell her husband something that she was doing, and although she was already married, but still it could have affected her relationship, by you telling your husband and your husband knowing your husband friends with Max. So I just think Princess was being petty or whatever, but basically, Ray was just kind of explaining to her that, they just need to be open, have open communication, not have these kind of situations go on. And, like I said, Princess just don't want Brandy to be in the wedding at this point, which I really think is just not cool and just stupid. Ray and Princess have this bachelorette joint party. Everybody's there. All the guys, Safari, A1, everybody's there. And then so she got her friends there as well. And they got strippers and just the whole nine. It's a joint bachelorette party. So they actually do have a conversation about, this whole prenup situation. And Ray is just feeling uneasy about it, and so he decides that he wants to tell her that, pull her to the side, and they talking about it. So he just telling her, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. She just, she's still going on with that whole not trusting situation, and it's basically the night before the wedding. And Ray J kind of just is fed up with it, and I totally understand. Like, you cannot be with somebody for so long, so many years, and just still do not trust them. It's just like, you're never going to trust me, so why would I even try to get married with, why would I even try to go through this and be married with you? Like, I just probably wouldn't do it, and it's just, trust is really, really important when it comes to a relationship, let alone a marriage. Anyway, Ray J stormed out the room. Princess throws something at him. They causing a scene at the party, and yeah, it's just a lot the night before the wedding. Then, they getting prepared for the wedding. They showing all the decorations and stuff, and it's really nice. It's really pretty. Ray J decides that he was not going to come home, and we didn't find that out until the next day. He left the bachelorette party and basically just felt like he was going to go out and think. Meanwhile, Princess over here in the dressing room getting dressed with all the girls, and he really had to just reevaluate what he wanted to do with his marriage situation with her, and he decided that he wanted to get married. So he show up, and she's pissed because he hasn't been there. He didn't come home last night, and that's a no-no. Like, I have pretty much been on Ray J's side for the most part, but I mean, how you not gonna come home? Like, I ain't with that at all. Like, that's just out. Absolutely not. So I went with that. but whatever. He didn't come home. And so she's just upset with that even happened. And I totally understand, because I would be upset myself if my husband or husband to be did not come home, let alone at all. That's just messed up to me. It's just not cool. So she didn't want to see him. She didn't want to talk to him. And, she was in there getting her hair done. He trying to talk to her through the door. Lyrica is obviously in the wedding. I can see that she's in there and a couple of her friends. So they just basically, Nia was there as well. I didn't see Bill B. So I guess she did throw her out of the wedding. I don't know. But they arguing back and forth. And it's just an uncomfortable situation for everybody, because at this point, it's time to get married and y'all still arguing. So then Rayco went back and talked to the guys about it, and the guys are kind of just, girls are trying to give him encouragement, her encouragement. The guys are trying to give him encouragement. Mom walks in, and he basically tells his mama that, this wedding might not happen. At first, she like, hallelujah, praise God. But then she realized, this girl loves my son loves this girl, and I need him to be happy. That's her main concern. So she is going to try to go and talk to Princess. So she go and try to talk to Princess, and Princess just all she really wanted to hear was what Sonya had to say, and that Sonya was okay with it and get her blessing. So she goes over to Ray's room and tells Ray she still want to get married. Ray has a surprise for her, and it's her dad. And it was really, really touched and emotional, because personally myself, I'm a daddy's girl. I don't know where I would be without him. And, it was just really touching to see that. So the wedding in itself was beautiful. I mean, Princess looked pretty. Ray J looks nice. The dogs were there. The bridesmaids looked nice. The flower girls looked nice. It was really, really nice. Ray J had the game, I think, and Jackie Long in the wedding. So I guess those are close friends of his. But it was just a really, really nice overall scene. Then after the wedding, we had a moment with A1, Lyrica 1 and 2, and Miss Pam. And, last week, Miss Pam and Lyrica 1 decided they were going to make up and play nice. So at the reception, they broke this news to A1, and A1 was kind of shocked about it. But at the same time, they talking smart and throwing shade. But at the same time, A1 did apologize to Lyrica 1. And it was touching for Lyrica 2, because, she just wanted everybody to be happy, and she wanted everybody to be respectful of each other. So it was really a nice scene to see them make up. Brandy sung at the wedding at last. She sounded absolutely great. I've always been a fan of Brandy and her singing. So I was glad to see that, And they basically just ended it with the wedding, and how, it was just a really special, and all the family friends came together, and it was really beautiful. At the end, they did like a recap of everything. Pretty much in the recap, we had started out with A1 and Lyrica, and she was just saying that she married her best friend, and she's happy that everything turning out right, and everybody's happy now, and she's bonding with his mom and everything, and she's just glad that everything turned out for the best. Then we got to, who was next? I think it was Moniece. No, it was TT. She's just talking about her court case and how she's just ready to put all of this behind her. And, it was a big wake-up call for her. And now she's just ready to get her career on track. And we will see more TT. Then we had Moniece basically just talking about she is now just ready to put all the bullshit behind her as well. She's not ashamed of anything that she's done, but now she just want to concentrate on her family, her son, her music, and getting some new breasts. So they show her in a scene in a doctor's office. Really, Moniece, girl, whatever. Who else was it? Brandy. She just wanted to again focus on her husband and her family, and not have to worry about going to court behind Becky's and whatnot. Her little boy is really cute, but she just want to focus on her family as well. And then we had Masika talking about, she wished that Fetty would come back to be a family life, but until then she's going to take care of her daughter. And finally, Willie and Shonda, and they are not showing that they're together, but I think they did kind of make up, but they just still trying to work out their situation and the cheating and all that stuff. So we'll see where that goes. But that was pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I may come back with another recap for you guys. Peace out.